Ndewo. No, and welcome to your week 3 Omnibus. If you missed the daily episodes this week, no problem. This is all 5 episodes combined in one continuous session. Settle in for the full experience. The stories, the scholars, the proverb, and all 18 sentences from this week. No breaks, no interruptions, just pure immersion. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. You have been in that room, the one where your family is switching between Igbo and English, so fast it sounds like one language. Where someone asks you something and your face does that thing. That smile that means, yes, I understood. Please do not ask me to respond. Where you are holding something you were just handed and you have no idea where it goes. You know every single person in that room, and you have never felt more like a visitor. There is one word that changes all of that. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, heritage futurist, daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, Episode 11, Week 3, Day 1. Today we'll learn the single Igbo word that turns a visitor back into family. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Today's proverb is this. Ọ na-abụ ekwe ekene ihu asa. Ọ na-abụ ekwe ekene ihu asa. It is when greetings are exchanged that faces can brighten. Not after, not despite. When. The exchange itself is what opens the face. The Igbo elders were not describing something that might happen if you speak kindly. They were describing the mechanism by which two people stop being strangers and start being something to each other. And today's word is how you begin it. So by the end of today, you will have 3 sentences that will walk you into any room, and one word that makes every one of them land. Bristol, November. A Saturday that smells like jollof rice and someone's auntie's perfume. Adeze is 29 years old. Born in Bristol, parents from Ekwulobia, Anambra State. A town she has seen in photographs and felt in the particular way her mother stirs soup. 4 months of Igbo learning, 3 sentences a day, both ways on the commute. Today is her nephew's baptism. Mmiri Chukwu, God's water. And the whole family has descended on this house like a very joyful, very loud weather event. Auntie Foma is 64. She does not raise her voice. She does not need to. When she walks into a room, the room reorganizes itself. She hands Adeze a tray. Something covered, something important, and says something in Igbo. Rapid, beautiful. Adeze catches one word. Nyere, give. What she knows is Biko. She turns to her cousin Ifekandu, who grew up here, at home in both worlds, and says quietly, Biko nyere m aka. Please help me. Ifekando steps in, takes the tray, speaks to Auntie Ifeoma. 30 seconds. And Auntie Ifeoma, who had not yet looked directly at Adaeze, looks at her now. One nod. Not the nod that says you are forgiven. The nod that says you are here. That nod has a name in linguistics. Marcel Afam Ezechukwu, a sociolinguist at Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka, Anambra State, published his findings in 2024. Politeness Strategies and Address System in Igbo and Isoko in the Journal of Linguistics, Language and Culture. What he's found is this. Igbo speech communities do not use politeness as decoration. They use it as face work, a term from the sociologist Irving Goffman, meaning the active, deliberate protection of another person's dignity. When you say Biko, you're not just softening a demand. You are telling the other person, I see you, I know I am asking something of you. Your choice matters. Auntie Ifeoma gave that nod because Biko told her one thing about Adaeze. Not that she was fluent, that she understood what asking costs. In Igbo philosophy, speech is not how you communicate who you are. It is how you become who you are. Ọnụ na-agwa onye ihe ọ bụ. Ọnụ na-agwa onye ihe ọ bụ. The mouth tells a person who they are. Wittgenstein said, the limits of my language are the limits of my world. The Igbo elders were not talking about limits. They were talking about doors. So here are the 3 sentences that will walk you through those doors. Repeat after me. Number 1. Biko nyere m aka. Please help me. Biko nyere m aka. Biko nyere m aka. Number 2. Biko cherem. Please wait for me. Biko cherem. Biko cherem. Now the third, and this one is the bravest of the 3. Number 3. Biko nwere m ndidi. Please be patient with me. Biko nwere m ndidi. Biko nwere m ndidi. So Adaeze, before she finds Ifekando, Biko cherem, please wait for me. And then when she finds him, Biko nyere m aka, please help me. And then after he handles it, she turns to him and says, Biko nwere m ndidi, please be patient with me. Ifekando looks at her for a moment, and then he says quietly in Igbo, Ị na-eme ọfụma. You are doing well. That is what Biko opened. So most diaspora learners in that room go quiet, not because they are rude, because asking for help in a language we're supposed to already know can feel like standing up in church and announcing you have failed. So they smile, they nod, they find a corner, and they go home fluent in one thing, the art of pretending it does not matter. Biko breaks that. The botanist Susan Simard spent years inside forests, studying what happens beneath the soil, beneath what the eye can see. What she found is this: trees do not survive alone. Beneath every forest floor runs a web of roots and fungal threads, mycorrhizal networks, through which trees pass water, carbon, and nutrients to one another. The oldest trees, the ones Simard called the mother trees, send the most, but the web only moves when there's a signal. When one tree is in need, it sends a signal through the roots, and the forest responds. The Igbo elders knew this, not in a lab, in the bone. Auntie Ifeoma did not see failure when Adeze said Biko, Nyeramaka. She felt the signal arrive. She was the mother tree, and she answered. The language teaches you how to send. The community teaches you how to receive. The diaspora did not lose its language because people stopped caring. It lost it because the roots were cut, and nobody told them that roots grow back. You are being taught now. Download this week's free workbook and practice at learnibonow.com. Before this day is done, say Biko Nyeremaka to someone, not to practice, to connect. If this episode landed, take one moment to rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Your review is how another diaspora learner finds their way home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oko Osimiri Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka chi gị duo gị. May your chi lead you. Jisie ike. Keep pushing. Be strong. Ka anyị bido ọzọ echi. Let's begin again tomorrow. There is a word in Igbo that can silence a room, and one word that fills it again. Adanna is 31, born in Florida, married 2 years. She stands in her mother-in-law's kitchen in Aba, Abia State. Her husband Chidi is across the room, speaking with his uncle about land. She needs him, just for a moment, to ask where the serving spoon is. She says, Chidi, bia. The room goes silent. Ndewo? No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, heritage futurist, daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, episode 12, week 3, day 2. Today, the 3 commands that become requests, and the one word that softens them all. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Today's proverb is Ilu bụ mmanụ eji eri okwu. Ilu bụ mmanụ eji eri okwu. Proverbs are the palm oil with which words are eaten. In Igbo thought, words alone are dry. Wrapped in proverb or certain words, they glide down easy. Today, we learn 3 words that move bodies, and the one that makes them safe to say. Sunday afternoon, 17 people. Jollof rice still steaming. Chidi's back is to Adanna, deep in talk about a boundary dispute in Umuahia. She calls, Chidi bia. The room pauses. All conversations stop. Her mother-in-law looks up. Chidi turns, smiling, but his eyes are tight. He leans in. Not like that. Not here. Later in the car, he explains. Bia is what an elder says to a child. What someone with power says to someone without it. Said publicly, she had placed herself above him. Then he teaches her. One word changes everything. Biko bia, he says. Come here, please. Biko softens it. He places us on the same level. 2 weeks later, same kitchen, same jollof rice. Adanna needs him again. This time she says, Chidi, Biko bia. Her mother-in-law smiles. Chidi's eyes are warm. One word, everything safe. What happened in that kitchen wasn't just politeness. It was what linguists call face work. To understand why Biko carries such power, we turn to the work of Adobe Ifeoma Aike Ilanusi and D. Ugochukwu Mbagwu, scholars at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Writing in the 2025 Beyond Babel Journal of Language, Literature and Humanities, they explored how Igbo proverbs function as tools for managing social harmony. Their research reveals that politeness markers like Biko are not decorations. They are face-saving technology. Brown and Levinson called it negative politeness, minimizing imposition on another's autonomy. When Adanna said bia alone, she imposed. When she added Biko, she protected. Chemistry speaks of a surfactant, a substance that lets oil and water meet. In Igbo, Biko is that surfactant. It eases tension between command and respect. Without it, bia is a sharp edge. With it, the molecules align, the room breathes. You've also heard it before in music, in jazz. A grace note, a tiny sound before the main one, softening the arrival. Miles Davis built whole albums on that touch of gentleness. Bia is the main note. Biko is the grace note that makes the sentence sing. And now the 3 sentences we're learning today. The 3 sentences that make people move. Repeat after me. Number 1. Bieba. Come here. Bieba. Bieba. Number 2. Gabanihu. Go forward. Gabanihu. Gabanihu. Number 3. Lọta n'ụlọ. Return home. Lọta n'ụlọ. Lọta n'ụlọ. Now, you add the grace note. Biko bia. Biko gaba. Biko lota. Biko, please. The palm oil, the surfactant, the soft landing. Every command can become a request. One word turns power into peace. Learn it, use it. Protect the faces and the harmony in every room. Gopu Gidinro Nanti mmadụ niile. May your words be soft in everyone's ears. Don't forget to grab this week's free speaking workbook. You can download it at learnigbonow.com. Before this day is done, say Biko bia to someone, not to practice, to protect. If this episode landed, take one moment to rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Your review is how another diaspora learner finds their way home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka chi gị duo gị. May your chi lead you. Jisie ike. Keep pushing and be strong. Ka anyị bido ọzọ echi. Let us begin again tomorrow. Ikenna is 26. Born in Barcelona, Spain. His father died 3 months ago. He stands in his uncle's forge in Ngwo, Enugu State. Uncle Emeka, 58, metal worker, 40 years at the anvil, heats an iron rod. The fire is orange. The heat pushes against Ikenna's face. Uncle Emeka pulls the rod from the fire, strikes it, once, twice. The metal bends. Ikenna watches. He doesn't understand the angle. He doesn't ask. Uncle Emeka hands him the hammer. Ikenna strikes. The metal warps. Uncle Emeka says nothing. The silence is heavier than the hammer. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, heritage futurist, daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, Episode 13, Week 3, Day 3. Today, the 3 questions that turn shame into mastery. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Today's proverb is Onye ajụjụ anaghị efu ụzọ. Onye ajụjụ anaghị efu ụzọ. He who asks questions does not lose his way. In Igbo thought, asking is not weakness. It is navigation. The apprentice who asks becomes the master. The one who pretends stays lost. And so today you will learn how to ask for help, to ask how something is done, and to ask what something is. 3 questions, 1 architecture. Week 2. Ngwo. Uncle Emeka forges an ofo staff, the sacred symbol of truth in Igbo land. The metal must curve without breaking. Ikenna watches. He sees the technique but doesn't understand the timing. Last week, silence. This week, something shifts. He asks his uncle, Kedu ka esi eme ya? Kedu ka esi eme ya? Uncle Emeka stops, smiles. You strike when the metal is yellow, not orange, not white, yellow. Ikenna tries, waits for yellow, strikes. The metal curves. Week 3. A customer brings a broken ceremonial gong. Ikenna has never seen one. He asks, Kedu ihe ọ bụ? The woman answers, Ogene, my grandfather's. Can you repair it? Uncle Emeka explains the history, the technique. The customer watches Ikenna ask, watches him learn. She nods. Week 4. Uncle Emeka needs to move the anvil. 80 kilograms. Ikenna tries alone. It doesn't move. Pride says, you should be strong enough. Shame says, don't ask. He asks, I nwere ike inyere m aka? Uncle Emeka calls 3 apprentices. They lift together. Later, Uncle Emeka tells him, your father never asked. He broke 3 or 4 staffs. You asked. That is why you will be better. What Ikenna learnt wasn't just metal work. It was survival technology. Oji Boniface Ifeanyi, a historian in the Department of History and International Studies at Bowen University, examined the Igbo apprenticeship system in the 2021 Journal of the Historical Society of Nigeria. He notes that after a 3-month trial, masters assess apprentices on willingness to learn, resilience, and trustworthiness to decide if they continue. These traits emerge through active engagement, like asking questions to grasp business intricacies. But this isn't just cultural, it's architectural. In traditional Igbo compounds, the Obi, the open meeting house, features an open front without enclosing doors, inviting communal visibility and knowledge flow. The elder sits facing the entrance, aligning with this design to foster open teaching. When Ikenna asked, Kedu ka esi eme ya? He walked through that open door. Uncle Emeka could see him. The knowledge transferred. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie captures this in Half of a Yellow Sun, 2006. portraying Igbo language and cultural openness as survival tools amid crisis. The ones who seek knowledge rebuild. Your questions are the open door. Let's put this into words and learn our 3 sentences for today. Repeat after me. Number 1. Ị nwere ike inyere m aka? Can you help me? Ị nwere ike inyere m aka? Ị nwere ike inyere m aka? Number 2. Kedu ka esi eme ya? Kedu ka esi eme ya? How does one do this? Kedu ka esi eme ya? Kedu ka esi eme ya? And finally, number 3. Kedu ihe ọ bụ? Kedu ihe ọ bụ? What is it? Kedu ihe ọ bụ? Kedu ihe ọ bụ? Take this with you today. Every master was once an apprentice who asked. Like Uncle Emeka said, your father's pride broke 3 staffs. Your humility will forge 1,000. Don't forget to grab this week's free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com. Before this day is done, say, Ị nwere ike inyere m aka to someone. Not to practice, but to ask. If this episode found its way to you, rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka ọnụ gị mepee mgbe o kwesịrị. May your mouth open when it should. Ka chi gị duo gị. May your chi lead you. Jisie ike. Stay strong and keep pushing. Ka anyị bido ọzọ echi. Let us start again tomorrow. Adaugo is 29. Born in London. She has been awake for 36 hours. Her grandmother is dying. The family gathers. Night vigil. Enugu. Adaugo paces. Checks her phone. Stands. Sits. Stands again. She cannot be still. Her aunt, Auntie Nkiru, 55, eldest daughter, says one word. Nọdụ ala. Sit down. Adaugo sits. Her body obeys before her mind understands. In the stillness, she hears it. Her grandmother's breathing. Still here, still alive. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, heritage futurist, daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 14, Week 3, Day 4. Today, the 3 commands that hold you when words are too heavy. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Today's proverb is this. Ijiji na-enweghị onye ndu ya, na-eso ozu ala n'ili. Ijiji na-enweghị onye ndu ya, na-eso ozu ala n'ili. A fly without a guide follows the corpse or a dead body into the grave. In Igbo thought, grief alone is a grave. At the vigil, those little commands, nọdụ ala, dina ala, kwụrụ ọtọ, are how we guide each other back from that edge. Sit, stand, lie down. I'm here. You will not follow the corpse. Today, you will learn how to say, sit down, stand up, and lie down. 3 commands. 1 truth. In Igbo, directing the body is how we direct care. Night 2. Aunty Nkiru has been awake 6 hours. She sways on her feet, eyes closing, catching herself. Adugo says in English, you should rest. Aunty Nkiru doesn't move. Pride. The eldest daughter doesn't rest while her mother suffers. Adugo remembers yesterday how the command reached her when English couldn't. She tries again. Dina ala. Lie down. Aunty Nkiru's face softens. She lies on the mat. The command gave permission. Adugo takes the shift. Night 3 becomes morning. Grandmother wakes. Lucid. First time in 48 hours. She sees Adugo slumped in the chair, asleep, neck bent. Grandmother's voice, barely a whisper. Kwụrụ ọtọ. Stand up. Adugo jerks awake. Stands. Her back cracks. Her neck aches. Grandmother smiles. Ọ dị mma. Ị ga-adị mma. It's okay. You will be okay. The command wasn't correction. It was blessing. Stand. You're strong. You'll survive this. Grandmother dies the next morning. Peacefully. Family around her. At the funeral, Adugo helps an elderly uncle to his seat. She says, Nọdụ ala. He sits. He cries. The command held him. What happened in that vigil wasn't just caregiving. It was neurological rescue. Dr. Innocent Nwosu and his colleagues at Federal University, Ndufu Alike Igbo, studied death and mourning practices across 6 Igbo communities. Their 2017 findings, published in the IOSR Journal of Humanities and Social Science, revealed that 100% of respondents agreed. Continuous assemblage of friends and relatives for 7 days reduces grief. But why? Because grief shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions. Commands bypass cognition. Nodo ala. Your body obeys before your mind understands. But this isn't just neuroscience, it's architecture. Traditional Igbo compounds are built in concentric circles. Elders at the center. The Vigil recreates this structure in time. 7 days, shifts, rotations. When Aunty Nkiru said, "Dina ala," she was positioning Adugo in the grief rotation. You've held it for 6 hours. Now someone else holds it. Flora Nwapa, the first published African woman novelist, shows us in Efuru, written in 1966, how Igbo women gather when one of them suffers. They don't ask if help is needed. They arrive, they sit, they cook, they hold. The vigil is this arrival made sacred. Nnedi Okorafor writes in Who Fears Death, 2010, of a girl who can reshape herself, but only when she surrenders control. The vigil teaches this. You reshape by surrendering. Sit when told. Stand when guided. Lie down when commanded. Let others hold the shape you cannot hold alone. Let's put this into words. Repeat after me. Number 1. Nodo ala. Sit down. Nodo ala. Nodo ala. Number 2. Kwụrụ ọtọ. Stand up. Kwụrụ ọtọ. Kwụrụ ọtọ. And finally, number 3. Dina ala. Lie down. Dina ala. Lie down. Dina ala. Take this with you. The fly without a guide follows the corpse into the grave. But you're not a fly. You are Igbo. And when grief tries to bury you, someone will say, Nodo ala, sit down. You're not going alone. Before this day is done, say Nodo ala. Not to command, to care. Turn these drops into mastery. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com and speak your sentences today. If this episode found its way to you, take one moment to rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Your review is how another diaspora learner finds their way home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister, Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka ahụ gị mara oge izu ike. Ka ahụ gị mara oge izu ike. May your body know when to rest. Ka chi gị duo gị. May your chi lead you. Jisie ike. Keep pushing, hang in there. Ka anyị bido ọzọ echi. Let us start again tomorrow. Chisom is 24. Lagos. Tech entrepreneur. Onitsha main market. Fabric stalls. Generator hum. Midday heat. She stands before the Traders Association. Tablet glowing. PowerPoint loaded. I can 10x your revenue. Mama Nnukwu, grandmother, 78, head of the association, fans herself, watching. One word. Inwaka. You have tried. Chisom smiles. Thinks she's won. The women stand. Wrapper cloth rustles. Meeting over. No deal. Grandmother says, you insulted them. Ndewo? No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, heritage futurist, daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops, Episode 15, Week 3, Day 5. Today, the 3 phrases that move billions in Onitsha market. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. Today's proverb is this. Ọ na-abụ ekwe ekele, ihu asa. Ọ na-abụ ekwe ekele, ihu asa. It is when greetings are exchanged that faces brighten. In Igbo markets, this isn't poetry. It's physics. Say the right thing, watch the face across from you open like sunrise. Say nothing, watch it stay closed like midnight. The exchange creates the light. Today you'll learn 3 polite responses, not just translations. The economic protocol that built West Africa's largest marketplace. Grandmother explains. Inwaka was polite rejection. You tried, but this won't work. Chisom should have said, Onwe ihe ọ bụ, or nsogbu adịrọ. I'm here to serve, not for praise. No worries. And at the end, Ngwano, anyị ga-afụ echi. All right, we'll see tomorrow. I'll return. This isn't transactional. Her silence was arrogance. Week 3, Chisom returns. No tablet, empty hands. She sits on the wooden bench. The market hums around her. Listens. Mama Ngozi says, Inwaka. This time, Chisom responds, Onwe ihe ọ bụ, it's nothing. Mama Adeze asks about delivery tracking. Chisom explains. In Igbo. Her hands move as she talks, tracing the route, the driver, the phone. When the meeting ends, Ngwanu, anyị ga-afụ echi. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Mama Nnukwu's face softens. Bịa echi, anyị ga-akparịta ụka. Come tomorrow, we will talk. 6 months later, the app launches. 200 market women. An investor asks, how did you convince them? I learned to say 3 things. You have tried, it's nothing, see you tomorrow. That's it. That's everything. In Onitsha market, politeness moves more money than PowerPoint. What Chisom learned wasn't just manners, it was economic science. Dr. Chika Ezanya Esiobu examined Igbo trading systems in her 2019 work, Indigenous Knowledge and Education in Africa, published by Springer. She found that Igbo market women built West Africa's largest informal economy through linguistic trust protocols, not contracts. Every phrase is a signal. Each exchange deposits trust. Ezanya Esiobu calls this social capital through daily micro-interactions. But this isn't just African wisdom. It's game theory. In 1984, political scientist Robert Axelrod ran a tournament on cooperation. He found that tit for tat, reciprocal kindness, dominated all aggressive strategies. When Chisom stayed silent, she defected. When she said, "Onwe ihe obu," she signaled cooperation, trust unlocked. Buchi Emecheta wrote in The Joys of Motherhood in 1979 of women navigating Lagos markets through endless politeness exchanges. The greetings are the transaction. Chisom's grandmother knew. In Igbo, politeness is infrastructure. These aren't pleasantries. They are the code that keeps billions moving without lawyers. The protocol is the contract. Let's put these into words. Repeat after me. Number 1. Inwaka. You have tried. Inwaka. Inwaka. Number 2. Onwe ihe obu. It's nothing. Onwe ihe obu. Onwe ihe obu. And finally, number 3. Ngwanu, anyị ga-afụ echi. All right, we'll see tomorrow. Ngwanu, anyị ga-afụ echi. Ngwanu, anyị ga-afụ echi. Take this with you. Watch faces today. When you say Inwaka, watch the person. When they respond Onwe ihe obu, you remember. Your face brightened. That warmth isn't performance. It's trust igniting. It is when greetings are exchanged that faces brighten. Exchange the greetings and then watch the light. Before this day is done, say Onwe ihe obu, not to deflect, to connect. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com and speak your sentences today. If this episode found its way to you, rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or where you're listening to this podcast. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Choma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Choma Mbanefo. Ka okwu gị mee ka ihu onye ọzọ saa. May your words make the faces of others brighten. Jisie ike. Hang in there, keep pushing. Ka anyị bido ọzọ echi. Let us start again tomorrow. And that's week 3 complete. 5 episodes, 15 sentences, scholars cited, proverbs honored, blessings given. If this week reached you, grab the free speaking workbook at learnibonow.com to practice what you've learned. And if you haven't yet done so, subscribe so you will never miss a week. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds the ocean, the Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo. Ka o mesịa. See you next week.